Hi, this is a price action analyst. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is KAVA, K-A-V-A. This is the KAVA with the Bitcoin pair. This is a coin that I've currently put a buy recommendation on. It's in the model portfolio, so if you're a subscriber, you would have seen that already. So I just want to talk about it because there's some interesting things with the chart. The support and resistance lines are the brown lines. You can see prices washed that support line and made a push out of there to all-time highs, and now it's retraced through support and is at the next level of support. So what I'm looking for is substantial buying that's going to indicate this support level will hold. So this blue bar is substantial buying, and it never went past, but for the purposes of good entries, I wouldn't recommend buying the break of that necessarily, because what happens is you generally see price retrace, which we've seen, and you can see the retrace is a series of smaller selling bars, which is a positive. And although this day hasn't finished, there's a blue bar with a wick. So as far as you can see on the daily bar, that looks good. I might buy if that candle paints in like that, I might buy a break of that candle, or price retesting this wick or here. But what I would prefer to do is drill down to a lower time frame chart, say the hourly chart, and use that to choose my entry. So before I get into that, before today's price action painted in, I had these green lines on the chart, and they were my ideal entry, and they were based on this air here where price had run away from, which is air is untested price action, and then you'd seen a support level there. And so basically what I was telling subscribers was it was all right to buy inside that zone. It's still inside that zone. But what I wanted to point out on this chart is that those air levels that I mark, they're reliable all the time, but in the right context, they become very useful. So I had marked that in prior, and if you look to where the price has tested and the reaction of price off that test, you'll see that over and over again. That's why, and I always mark in areas of air. So with this area of air and that push out, that's another quite a big confirmation to me that price now this level is gonna hold. And so what else has happened is you've got this downtrend here, and price has now come back outside of it. So for the purposes of holding a coin, you really could just buy it here. It's still within the range that's I've identified with the green lines. It could retrace a little bit. There's nowhere. The only sort of place that's indicative of some sort of obvious place to get long on a retrace is maybe the retest of the trend line. So if price does cycle back, expect a wash of this pivot, and so between these two pivots, that or support level, but expect to see renewed buying pressure there. So if you're not buying the coin right here, you could wait to see if price will get back this far, and it may not. So again, for the purposes of what we're doing, like buying and holding cryptocurrency, I would have no problem just purchasing the coin here. And so that's kind of how I structure a buy recommendation. It gives people the option of just buying here, or I'll give you an ideal range to buy between. This price happens to be in the range, but normally the price will be below. The range will be below the price, which gives people the option, if they're going to wait for price to cycle back, they can try to get it cheaper within that range. So that's the type of options that I'm trying to give people that subscribe to my service, and so they get that information in a nightly email update. So overall, I like that is that's an entry point for me, but it's an entry point in the context of this this uptrend. Normally when price is stronger, you'll get a more shallow retrace. This price is coming a lot deeper here, but it's looking like support will hold. So I at least expect price to cycle up to resistance again. And then when it gets there, we'll see what it looks like. If it becomes very weak there, then I might, if price rockets away from here, there's a buy recommendation. So if price gets to here, that buy recommendation will go away it'll change to a hold, because you've missed the entry. But then they might get another recommendation depending on what price action looks like when it gets to resistance. So that's kind of how we're playing it. So, and just to give you an example of a shallow retrace, I saw a good example of that. This was also a buy recommendation, which is gone away because its price has moved a long way away from our ideal entry. I think I picked the breakout here, but this is Ethereum. This was a move up to support, up to resistance, then to the next resistance, and you've seen price retrace. That's a 50% retracement, textbook. That's kind of always my expectation when I see a strong leg up, but I'm only buying here when I get, evidence of buying pressure. So, if we look at the hourly chart, here was your evidence that price was going to push higher. But yeah, Ethereum is looking very strong. So that's a different conversation though. So I'll just leave it there. That's KAVA, KAVA. It's currently got a buy recommendation, and I like the look of that price action so far. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm on Twitter @PriceAnalyst. And if you're interested in the subscriber service, the information's in the description box. Thanks for watching.